The One Thing, The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results by Gary Keller. I'll go ahead and start off by talking about who I think this book is for. I think this book is for anyone who finds themselves incredibly drained after a long day at work, someone who's suffering with their personal relationships because of how much time they spend at work, and someone who doesn't feel like they're seeing the success that they should be seeing with all the work they're putting in. The One Thing is centered around a focusing question which asks, what's the one thing I can do that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? So you can ask yourself that for this year, for this month, for this week, this day, or this minute. What is the one thing that you can do that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And so the concept here is if you're coming home drained and you're not seeing the success that you feel like you should be seeing, chances are you're not doing that one thing. You're not doing the most important thing, but instead you're filling your day up with busy work, which leaves you completely drained. Gary goes into the 6 lies or myth understandings that are destroying your productivity. I won't go into all of them, but for me, the one that stood out the most was the one about willpower. The book explained that willpower is not will call. It's not something that you can summon whenever you need it. It's more like a battery, and it starts off fullest at the beginning of the day, and as your day goes on, that energy depletes. So by the time you're at the end of the day, you don't have energy unless you do specific things to keep your energy up. I've read several articles before that talk about the people who work out in the morning tend to stick with it a lot better than those that work out in the evening. And this is why. I personally have a natural inclination and tendency to procrastinate, but after reading this book and understanding that willpower is not will call, I now try to do the more important things earlier in the morning when I know I'll have the energy. The book also goes into the 3 commitments of productivity and the 4 thieves. Number 1 on that list being the inability to say no. I don't know if that's something you struggle with, but it's definitely something that I struggle with. I have a really hard time of telling people no, and I always want to help, but sometimes you just gotta say no. Some of my favorite quotes from the book are, imagine life is a game in which you are juggling 5 balls. The balls are called work, family, health, friends, and integrity, and you're keeping all of them in the air. But one day you finally come to understand that work is a rubber ball. If you drop it, it will bounce back. The other 4 balls, family, health, friends, and integrity, are made of glass. If you drop one of these, it will be irrevocably scuffed, nicked, perhaps even shattered. The next quote is about having big success. Big is bad is a lie. It's quite possibly the worst lie of all, for if you fear big success, you'll either avoid it or sabotage your efforts to achieve it. And lastly is a quote about saying no. You can say no with respect, you can say no promptly, and you can say no with a lead to someone who might say yes. But just saying yes because you can't bear the short-term pain of saying no is not going to help you do the work. I gave The One Thing 5 stars on Goodreads. It was easy to read, relatable, and it helped me understand how I was mismanaging what should have been the most productive hours of my day. When do you feel most productive? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe below. Thanks again for joining me, and see you next week.